Hello friend, welcome to the second trimester recap video. I can't believe we're just a few days away from being in the third trimester. This pregnancy feels like it's flying by, and like half of me is like keep going with just 3 months left, and then the other half is like slow down, that's literally 90 days and we still have so much to do to prepare for our son's arrival. So let's just dive into how the second trimester has been for me. I wrote down a few things because pregnancy brain is super real, and if I don't write things down in my notes app, they're gone forever. I just have no memory. So I guess we'll just start with like the really fun things that have happened in the second trimester. We went on our baby moon, which I'm so excited to put that video up. We did our maternity photos, our anatomy scan. We just did a 4D ultrasound to see his face, which was so surreal, just like getting to see the little face that's inside of my body. It was just the coolest experience. We started his nursery, we got his crib in. It's just been such a fun past 3 months, and we really crammed it all in. We don't really have anything in the third trimester that is like too big. I'm not doing a shower. It was feeling really difficult to get everybody we love into one place and find like a date that works for everyone. So we're not doing a shower, which is like totally okay. He is super loved from afar. So that's all the fun things that we did. I would say the best part about the second trimester has been feeling his kicks. It started pretty early, around 15 weeks. They felt like little flicks, and then just got stronger and stronger each week, to the point where now we can feel him on the outside. You can see him moving on the outside. Ryan's been able to feel him, although sometimes he does become a little trickster, and when Ryan puts his hand on my stomach, he'll just stop completely, which cracks us up, and I kind of feel bad for Ryan. But he has been able to feel him, which is really fun. So I'll give you a little bump date. I'm about to be 28 weeks, and this is what he looks like. So his position as of now is his head is like over here, his butt is over here, so his legs are here and his arms are here. The weirdest part about feeling him move is sometimes when I'm sitting, like I'll start feeling little like scratches or tickles to the bottom of my belly, and I'm like, are you tickling me right now? Like, it's just like the weirdest feeling. But besides that, I've been loving his kicks. Like, I'm addicted to feeling him move in there, and I feel like I'm already like playing around with him. Like, if he's kicking, I'll put my hand on him and kind of like go like pat him a little bit, and he'll kick me like right in the middle of my hand. And so it's been fun to like kind of get to know his personality through his movements, and I already feel like I'm gonna miss them so much when he's out in the world, of just feeling him inside of me. Obviously, so excited to have him here in the world, but you know I'm gonna miss this a lot, so just soaking it all in. So in the first trimester recap video, I went over like a ton of my symptoms, and I thought that I would just kind of give an update on that and like anything new that's been going on with my body. The biggest one from the first trimester was that I had a really stuffy nose. It felt like I couldn't fall asleep, or when I'd fall asleep I wouldn't be able to breathe. That has definitely subsided. You can kind of hear it in my voice, like I'm a little stuffy now, but for the most part it's not as bad as it was a few weeks ago, which I'm so thankful for. I was using the neti pot twice a day, saline solution, just kind of everything that I could to relieve my congestion. And I haven't had to use the neti pot the past couple of weeks, knock on wood, don't want to jinx that. Now that I'm sleeping on my side and my belly's getting bigger, when I move from one side to the other, I feel like I'm waking up with that movement, but I'm able to fall asleep pretty fast after that. And I'm also peeing about 2 times per night, so sometimes I'll be able to fall right back asleep after I pee, or like sometimes I'm just kind of like up for an hour, which isn't super fun. I've been using like one of those big U pregnancy pillows, and at first I like really didn't like it. I was like, this is so uncomfortable, I'm sweaty, it's just not working for me. But then I saw something where if you turn it upside down and have like the U over by like the bottom of your legs, and you just kind of cuddle like the top of it, it's more comfortable, and it's been a game changer. I think this pillow is so comfortable now. I'm not usually a side sleeper, so that's been just like an adjustment in itself, but like For the most part, the pillow has been super helpful now that I've rotated it. Speaking of sleeping, on my side, my ribs have been starting to hurt. Like if I sleep or I lay on one side for too long, they start to feel like tender and kind of like a bruise. And so I'll just like flip over to the other side and it really like helps relieve that one side. I wasn't expecting that at the beginning of pregnancy, so that's kind of been like a surprise symptom. The hunger is real. The past couple of weeks I feel like I've just like my hunger has gone from like meh to like I'm hungry all the time. I've been really upping my protein intake to help like curb the hunger and just like feel satisfied throughout the day more. But I am ready for snacks all the time. I feel like I'm peeing a million times a day. I've been drinking at least 64 ounces or more, so I know that like my water intake is a lot more than like what I was drinking pre-pregnancy. He's also sitting pretty low, so like that's really putting pressure on my bladder. There's times where like I'll pee like every hour and I'm like, there's no way there's more pee in there, and then it's like a full like release, which feels so good, but I'm just like shocked every time. I feel like I'm out of breath more. Even just talking to you, like I feel like I'm like kind of trying to catch my breath. I've been walking slower. Ryan and Lucia have been having to adjust their speed. And then the worst thing about the second trimester, which is actually very brand new as of 2 weeks ago, are Charlie horses. I've been waking up with the worst leg cramps. It's usually on my left side too. I don't know if I'll have to, no, I shouldn't Google that. It's just like usually my left leg. This morning I woke up with the worst cramp. I was ready to cut my leg off. It hurt so bad. And then once I got relief and I was able to stretch it out, like even right now, like it still feels really sore. I've been taking magnesium before bed to help me sleep, and apparently that's supposed to help with Charlie horses, but hasn't really been helping. So my midwife recommended like a magnesium lotion. I'm getting one, it's coming in soon, so hopefully that does help, but y'all, they're rough. They are rough. It hurts so bad. I've also been going to the chiropractor regularly. They recommend going every like 2 to 3 weeks right now, and then I think once like June hits, I'll be going once a week. That's just to help baby get into like the right position, to help get my pelvis into the right position, and just like be prepared for labor. But it also just feels really good to go and kind of get myself adjusted. So I've been really enjoying that. I think that's really it for the symptoms of my second trimester. It's definitely been like my honeymoon phase of pregnancy so far. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of energy and just kind of like was ready to tackle everything. Hoping that that continues into the third trimester and that it's not too rough on me, but we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so on to your questions. I asked over on my Instagram story for you to ask any second trimester or pregnancy related questions, and if you're not already following me on Instagram, I'd love to connect and hang out with you. It's at melissa.page24. I give more like daily glimpses into our lives and updates, so I would love to connect with you over there. One of the most asked questions is, do you have a name picked out? And we do. We know his first and middle name. It's kind of a funny story of how we came up with this name. So back in 2013, before I even moved to Arizona, I worked at a daycare, and there was this little boy in my class, and he was just the cutest, sweetest little boy, and I fell in love with his name. I loved the way that he said it and just the way that it sounded. Then I moved to Arizona the next year, met Ryan, and even since like the beginning, I was always like joking of like, oh, I want my son's name to be this. And then we got engaged, and we were talking about our future family, and he's like, I really do love that boy name. What if we paired it with this middle name? And I was like, that's it. That's the name. It's perfect. When we found out we were having a boy, we looked over at each other and we're like, that's his name. It's gotta be his name. It's fate. So we've had his name, or I've had his name picked out since 2013. We've had it since before we were even married. We're not gonna share his name until he's born. Not because we like want to keep it a secret and because it's like this cool, unique name, but just for that like 1% chance that we do end up changing it. We're still like looking at other names just for like fun, but we've been calling him by this name since we found out he was a boy. So we're like 99% sure we're gonna use it, but just in case, we're gonna hold off on it. Are you enjoying pregnancy? For the most part, yes. I've been really loving it, and I feel very fortunate that I've been loving it because I know that's not the case for all women. There's definitely been like some like harder days, some bad days, but like I'd say for like the most part, if I'm going to generalize this pregnancy, it's been very easy for me. I've been really enjoying the whole process, so I feel very blessed that it's been fun and I've been enjoying it. What has changed the most about your body? Besides my bump getting bigger, my boobs have doubled in size. I feel like everything has just like gotten a little bit bigger, and that's been an adjustment, but these girls, I'm like still like in shock every time I see them. I'm like, how did I grow them this big? It's crazy. So it's been kind of hard to dress them just as much as it is to dress my bump. I feel very top heavy right now, and like my cheeks are getting bigger. So I think that just like everything has been an adjustment with my body, and I have to remind myself that I'm growing a human and that it's all totally normal. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, but it definitely is like a mental trip, just like watching everything kind of like get bigger. Where do you get your maternity clothes from? So I haven't purchased a ton of maternity clothes for myself. I've got a bunch of hand-me-downs from friends, but I have gotten a few really good pieces from Target and Amazon. We actually just got an Amazon storefront and I like to know it, so I'll link both of those down below. I've been updating those two platforms with all of my pregnancy related outfits or like just things that we love from Amazon. I've been trying to like ball on a budget because I know that this season is only temporary, so just trying to find more like affordable outfits. Sorry if this is TMI, but do you have stretch marks? I do underneath my boobs, but as of right now, not on my stomach. I know that they're genetic, so they might pop up in the 3rd trimester or closer to when I give birth. But as of right now, I've been using this Fearless Mama Belly Butter Stretch Mark Prevention by Skin and Senses. It's been just so helpful with like keeping my skin hydrated, and now that my skin's really like stretching, it's getting a bit itchier, so I've been using it twice a day and it's been helping with just keeping everything hydrated. What are you doing to prepare for baby? So I feel like I've been procrastinating a lot on this. As for like what we're like reading or doing like course-wise, right now I'm reading Ina May's Guide to Childbirth, which is basically the Bible of natural childbirth. Ryan's reading The Birth Partner, and it's really fun that we're reading 2 different books because we'll be able to come together at the end of the day and be like, oh, I read this or I learned that. Did you know that? So that's been really fun. And then we are starting a course by The Pain-Free Birth, which you can find over on Instagram. She has just a whole course on natural childbirth, and so I'm gonna start that to get in the mentality of about to deliver a baby. But other than that, I haven't really been thinking too much about it, so definitely gotta start now that we're in the home stretch. What has been your biggest craving recently? Sugar. Which is really bad, I know. But I've been craving just like sweet treats. I've been trying to eat more fruit, but definitely have been caving and getting ice cream. And I actually just did my gestational diabetes test and we're waiting to get that back. So I'm really hoping that the sugary treats that I have been having haven't affected that, and hoping that I don't have it so that I can still like enjoy those at the end of pregnancy. Because who doesn't love a popsicle in the heat of summer, right? Right? I'm like looking forward to this. Are you nervous for birth? Yeah, I'm nervous for birth. I'd say I'm like half excited and half really nervous. Obviously, like I can't control the situation, so I'm just trying to go in with like an open mind on it all. I was also just talking to my midwife about how it feels very like, it's like kind of a mental trip of preparing for birth, because I want to go in with like 0 expectations, but I do have like hopes for what I like would want the birth to be like. She gave me that permission. She said it's normal to have hopes and desires, just don't hold on to them too tightly, because that's when you do have that disappointment in birth. And so it gave me that permission to just like start really thinking about like my birth plan and like what I would hope and how I would hope it would go, but definitely trying really hard not to have high expectations because you just never know. Has your workout routine changed at all? I'd say the routine itself hasn't changed. I'm still going to Pilates 2 to 3 times a week, and now that it's getting warmer out, we've been doing daily walks. But I feel like the actual workouts itself have started to change. I can't use my abs at all anymore, so I'm starting to do a lot more modifications than I was in the first trimester, which has been kind of mentally hard. I was thinking about this yesterday at class, how I'm looking around at everybody while we're doing like planks or ab work, and they're all killing it, and I know that pre-pregnancy I would have been doing it just the same, but now having to like watch for coning and like really protecting my abs and the baby has been hard, but like gotta do what you gotta do. So just doing modifications where I have to, but I'm really thankful to be still doing Pilates. It's been really helping, I feel like, with my body. But yeah, I would say just the workouts in general have kind of changed a little bit. How do you think Randall and Lucia will feel once baby is here? I think Lucia is going to be so excited for her baby brother. I think she's going to be protective and wanting to like play with him and snuggle him. Randall, on the other hand, I think is going to need some time to warm up and adjust to him. He doesn't really like kids. He hides whenever they come over, which like I totally understand because they're like fast and loud, so I think he's going to need a little bit of adjustment. But for the most part, I think they'll both get used to having a little baby brother in the house. Any life changes you're making as a family? I'd say besides like the financial part and saving more just for like items for him, or just like adding another person to our family, we've been just trying to be like intentional about dreaming up like our family traditions and what we want our day-to-day life to look like, and then really diving back into our family values and the pillars of our family. So that's been really fun to kind of just like vision cast and dream about like what we want our lives to look like with a family and getting back to our roots. So I'd say that's just like the biggest life changes, is just trying to like shift into becoming a family and having kids and being parents. So I hope you enjoyed this second trimester recap video. I'm really hoping that the third trimester treats me just as well as the second did. It's crazy that we are less than 90 days away from meeting baby boy, and in the third trimester recap video, he'll be here in my arms. So we have a lot to look forward to, and I'll see you in the next video.